Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. Battle report number 78 is a 5,000 point battle. 'Tis I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogre Cons, versus Sex Panther of the Warriors of the Dark Gods. Everybody's getting new armies, and they all want to play against me, which is really, really awesome. I'm very pleased. So Sex Panther put together a Warrior of the Dark Gods army and wanted to try it out against me. This is exciting because come this summer, I'm starting a Warriors of the Dark Gods army. So I was very excited to play against this army, see strengths, weaknesses, what I want to try, what I don't want to try, stuff like that. And here's the first result, I guess. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how this one goes. My list has not changed yet. I'm still playing with it, trying to give it that. I'm really trying to figure out what I like and dislike about it before I make any, knee-jerk reaction changes. So most of it's the same. I still have my Great Khan Black Shade. He's got a great weapon. He's got the Divine Icon. He's got the Bluffer's Helm, and he's got the Talisman of Greater Shielding. I have my Khan. He's my BSB. He's got the Heart Ripper, Yeti Furs, and Troll Eater. I have my Shaman Skaz. He's got 3 learned spells. He's got the Talisman of Shielding, and he's still using Pyromancy. I'm really enjoying Pyromancy. It's really got the punch that I want in this army. And of course, I have my Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's got his Ogre Crossbow, the Obsidian Blade, the Armor of Fortune, Headhunter, and he's on his trusty Tusker, the War Teddy. Oh yeah. Starting off my core choices, I still have my 7 Tribesmen, the good old boys, Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, and the Banner of Discipline. A second unit of 7 Tribesmen, the Conquerors, with Banner, Musician, and Iron Fists. And then a big old unit of 23 Scraplings, the Randos, with Musician and Bows. And it's after this game I started thinking that maybe, since I've got so many Scraplings in one unit, maybe I could take 2 units of Scraplings. Minimum units, 15 each, but they'd have bows, I'd have more stuff, or I'd have a wider area to put them in, and especially when it comes down to objectives, because once we start playing objectives again, that might be really useful too. So we'll see. In the special category, I have my Saber-Toothed Tiger Bow Wowzer, my unit of 5 Scrappling Trappers, the Favored Pets, and a unit of 4 Tusker Cavalry. They are now named the Fat and the Furious, with Banner, Great Weapon, and Flaming Standard. Thank you, No Runner, for naming yet another one of my units. No Runner is playing his Vermin Swarm again. I seen it. And I'm hoping to get a game in against him very soon, so that instead of just naming my units, he can start slaughtering them again. In the Powder Keg category, I've got 3 Bombardiers with a Musician. And then in the Chain Beast category, weighing in at an ungodly amount of pounds, my Rock-a-Rock Warhammer. And the rider with lance that rides him, because he's a rider that rides, Shyhammer. Yeah. After last game, I'm really expecting something crazy out of him this game. And if you don't know what happened in the last game, you should go watch it because it's awesome. Equally as awesome, though, is my Frost Mammoth, Rufus. Rufus is the ultimate support monster. He's tough, he's awesome, and he lowers your initiative by 3 if you're within 6 inches of him, and he doesn't like you. If he likes you, for some reason, it doesn't bother you. Yeah, Rufus is amazing. I got a couple of Ogre Crossbows and the guys on his back just so that he's got something to do when he's not kicking ass. I love this model. Really, really do. Anyway, that's going to do it for my list. I'll post my opponent's list, play some music. Feel free to pause it whenever you like to see what he took. my spells, which are Enveloping Ember, Immolation, and Cascading Fire. And here are my opponent's spells. I know it's a weird angle, I took it from the other way and rotated the picture around, but at least you get to see the spells that he took. Here's deployment, and I got to deploy first. I'm good at rolling for that, or usually my opponents just let me do it, whichever. And I didn't know what to expect, but I knew it was a close combat army, so I set up in close combat formation. I have two real sections divided up by Skaz and Bow Wowser in the middle there. Rufus, the good old boys, the Bombardiers, Lord Tremendous, and the Trappers are on the right side. The Conquerors, the Rock, the Scraplings, and the Tusker Cav are on the left side. That rock in the middle is going to split the board in half, so I split my forces in half. Skaz and Bow Wows are going to go down the middle and go wherever they're needed or wherever they're going to be able to do the best. And those two chunks are pretty evenly distributed. I think I'm a little heavy on the left side, but that's fine. And hopefully I'm going to be able to bash into these guys and rip them to pieces before they do the same to me. This one's going to be bloody. Here's top one after movement, and I go in. I go in fast. I don't want to wait. I don't want him to get in a good position. I want to take as much of the board away from him as I can. So on the left side there, I shoot up pretty far. On the right side, I shoot up equally as far. I even give up a little bit of shooting in order to get up there by marching some of the stuff that can shoot. I'm not upset with my choices. I like that I'm putting a lot of pressure on him. And if I'm not mistaken, he was a little surprised by it. Like, oh damn. So that's really it for movement. During the magic phase, I get Immolation off in front of his big unit of Wasteland Warriors. The idea here is I get to keep him where I want him, and if he chooses to go past the line I've drawn in the sand, he's going to take damage. That looks like 12 Strength 4 hits into that unit, and I'm willing to bet they aren't a 3-up armor. Like in all my games, I start off by getting spells off with miscasts. Overwhelming Power is my bane, and Skaz, in order to get that spell off, power and ends up miscasting 16, which is outstanding. The results of said miscast see Skaz taking a wound, which isn't too terrible, and I lose Immolation for the rest of the game, which kinda is terrible. It's kinda my board control spell. Well. I still have some dice left over after the miscast, so I cast Cascading Fire onto the good old boys, and this is just to get Fireball off, which does nothing. However, having this spell on them is kind of nice, because they're going to see combat, and everything in base to base taking a Strength 4 hit at Initiative 0 is awesome, really. I'm sorry, I lied to you. The Fireball did actually damage the dogs, and one of them dies. I apologize. During the shooting phase, my Bombardiers can see the dogs on the hill and open fire and kill 3 of them, which is fantastic. That's exactly what they're for. Which causes the puppies to panic. And I believe they do not rally and flee off the table in a turn or so. So after that incredibly effective first turn, we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement, and my opponent moves up. He moves up a little cautiously. His guys come right up to the Immolation thing. I forget that it's 3 inches out, and we just played it like if you touched it, you took damage. So he moves right in front of it. He should have taken damage. I didn't think about it. My fault, my bad. But both of his units of infantry on the right side come forward. Maybe his dogs do rally. I honestly don't remember. On the left flank, though, he kind of hesitates. He puts the dogs in front of the rock, hoping for a frenzy charge, and then a forced overrun, and then a flank charge with his knights. Not a terrible tactic. I've failed Leadership 8 numerous times. My BSB is right next to him. I did that on purpose, so I'm thinking I'm okay here, but God knows I've been wrong before. His once chosen move up a little bit, but again, he just kind of exposes himself a lot. My Tusker Cav has some really good charges. My Rock doesn't, but my Conquerors do. And on the right side, I've got charges like Lord Tremendous can go into that smaller unit and start dealing with him. So I don't know exactly what he's planning here, but I'm not overly familiar with Warriors of the Dark Gods either. So I'm going to take his bait in a few places and see what happens. That's it for movement. He had a really low magic phase. I think he only had like 3 or 4 dice, and he tried to get Totemic Summon off, but I was able to stop it. So in the shooting phase, his Hellscream Cannon fires at the Tusker Cav and does a couple of wounds to him. Should have killed the guy. He rolled really low. Like I said, my poor opponent, he's still rolling like garbage, and I feel terrible about that. But, you know, we've all had bad dice. That's it for his turn. So we go here to top of 2 after movement, and like I said, I took some bait. My Tusker Cav charge into the Hellscream Cannon, and unfortunately, in order to do that, I have to clip the forest, and like any good forest, it's able to kill one of my Cav. I think I took 3 wounds. I think I took 2 or something like that. It was bad. But one of my Tusker Cav eats it. I do pass the panic check, so they make their charge into the Hellscream Cannon, which is good. I don't want that thing shooting throughout the game. My Bow Wowzer, my Saber-Tooth Tiger, he moves up in front of the Knights to redirect them. I do pass my Frenzy check with my Rock, who comes around the dogs because I want my Scraplings to shoot at them a little bit, try to lower their numbers. I also bring Skaz over so that maybe Fireball and stuff can hit them a little bit, and maybe I can do a little bit of damage to the Knights before I have to fight them with the Conquerors. Rufus, the good old boys, and the Bombardiers mostly stay right where they're at. I'm not ready to deal with the huge horde brick of warriors. However, Lord Tremendous goes into the smaller unit of warriors because I remember my earlier games against an Adepticon against Warriors of Dark Gods and how much I regret not sending Lord Tremendous into them to deal with these smaller units as soon as possible. So I send him in there. He passes his dangerous terrain because he does clip the forest. And, hopefully I can do some damage to these guys before the big horde brick comes slamming into my side. But if it does, I've got Rufus, the good old boys, and even the Bombardiers to deal with them. So we'll see what happens. There's a better picture of the Tusker Cav slamming into the Hellfire Cannon. And I don't think that there's 2 wounds. I think I took a wound or 2 from the dangerous terrain. I don't believe there's 2 wounds left on the unit. I think I just forgot to take the tokens off. Not 100% on that, so if it changes in future pictures, that's why. But yeah, there's 1 Tusker Cav getting killed by a tree and 3 others slamming into the Hellscream Cannon. And there's Lord Tremendous slamming into this unit of warriors. Hopefully, I'm able to vaporize this unit. Nothing happens in the magic phase, but in shooting, my 3 trappers that can see over the hill throw their stuff at the dogs that rally. They did rally and kill them. So yeah, shooting's on point for my trappers once again. These guys, love them. Then over here, Rufus, of all things, I shoot at the Demon Prince that's in the middle, right behind that rock there. Just pot shots, not really thinking I'm going to do anything. I hit, I wound, and he takes a wound. It actually went through. So Rufus, with the pot shot from downtown, puts one on the general. See, things like this are why I love Rufus so much. The real stars of the shooting phase, though, are the 23 Scraplings. They fire all their bows, because they didn't move, they got the volley fire, into the dogs that were trying to bait the Hammer Brothers, and smoked all 5 of them. I did like 7 wounds to that unit. It was insane. These little bastards with bows are dangerous. Like, I really underestimate this unit a lot. Oh, I was so happy with them. So happy with them. Because now my Rock is wide open. The Conqueror's in good position. The Tusker Cav are in great position. Because if they can kill the Hellscream Cannon, they can overrun into the Once Chosen. The left flank is quite possibly locked down now because the Scraplings took out the chaff. We go into combat, and the Tusker Cav obliterate the Hellscream Cannon. As you can see also, just to point it out, the wound markers are gone off the Tusker Cav. I took 1 wound from Dangerous Terrain, which killed the guy that took 2 earlier. But impact hits alone are able to do like 4 points of damage to the Hellscream Cannon. It attacks back, and once again, my opponent's devastatingly bad rolls save my Tusker Cav from taking any further damage. The great weapons alone are enough to finish off the cannon. They are destroyed, and my Tusker Cav choose to overrun, which slams them into the flank of the Once Chosen, and thanks to Dangerous Terrain, I take another wound. I swear to God, forests are my bane. Over here, I end up in a challenge with the unit champion, I think, and I do like 1 or 2 wounds to it. So charge and a couple of wounds to rank, banner, maybe 1 wound. I don't know. I think this is either a stalemated combat or I lose combat, but we stick it out. So better than breaking by Lord Tremendous, I guess. So with that over, we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and there's a little bit, not a ton. His big old unit of warriors, he does not charge with them because he's afraid of the immolation. He doesn't want to take that damage. So he actually backs his horde brick up. In the center, his knights take on the dog because they're like, get the hell out of the way. And then his demon prince comes firing forward because he wants to kill Rufus. I don't know what it is about Sex Panther, but he loves killing Rufus. I think maybe because he knows it devastates me. So yeah, he comes flying forward to try to get a hold of Rufus, and that is it for movement. There's been a picture of his knights taking on Bow Wowser. During the magic phase, I don't remember what spells it is. I don't remember exactly how he does it, but his Demon Prince puts 3 or 4 wounds on Rufus. I think 4 wounds on Rufus, really beating the crap out of him. Again, I don't remember exactly what spell or what it was that caused it, but yeah, 4 wounds on Rufus. My opponent almost pulled off killing my favorite monster, and I take that personal. We go into combat, if you can call it that, and poor Bow Wowser, he gets eviscerated by the character, just destroyed. But he served his purpose, he chaffed up the knights, and that's outstanding. After the combat, my opponent just reforms like this, and the knights prepare to take a charge. Over here, the Tusker Cav are able to eviscerate 2 of the once chosen, almost 3. They take another wound for their trouble, but charge, flank, banner, and multiple wounds. I think they may have auto-broke. I'm not 100% on that. Am 100% on, though, is that they break and the Tusker Cav run them down. The Tusker Cav have really earned their keep this game. And then over here, Tremendous and the Tusker is War Teddy really kicking an overdrive, killing 3 or 4 of these guys and taking 0 wounds in return. I win this combat, but the bastards make their break check. Again, I guess rolling low does help sometimes. Still feel terrible for my opponent. So we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and there is some. My Rock and the Tusker Cav and the Conquerors charge his knights. It's a big brick. I need to put as many points into it as I can. I'm a little afraid of it. Unfortunately, the Rock doesn't make it. I roll like 2 1s and a 2, but the Conquerors and the Tusker Cav slam into them, which honestly should be enough. On the right side, I back Rufus off a little bit. If my opponent is going to go after Rufus and take him out, that's fine, but I don't want him overrunning into the good old boys as well. The good old boys stay there, and I expose their flank to his Demon Prince because I want his Demon Prince to charge them instead. They'd be steadfast, he's going to be a -3 initiative, and then Rufus can charge him in the flank next turn. Maybe those guys can even turn around and face him. It's a risk, I'm aware, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Also, disallows Rufus to shoot at him, the Bombardiers get some shots at him, and the Trappers start moving their way over there. The only other thing that happens is Skaz moves up to try to whittle down the numbers onto the Warriors, because eventually they're going to charge Lord Tremendous in the flank, and I want as few of them remaining as possible before that's over. The only other thing that happens is on the left flank there, the Scraplings turn to face the Demon Prince as well, because I'm going to try to make sure that mofo fights in the shade. That's it for movement. There's been a picture of the Conquerors and the Tusker Cav making it, and the Rock not making it. Maybe he was afraid of the trees. He saw what happened to the Tusker Cav, and he was like, oh, hell no, trees are scary. Nothing happens in Magic, but in shooting, holy crap. So the Bombardiers get like 16 shots, right? They shoot at the Demon Prince like I had planned. They don't care about movement. They don't care about long range. They do care about multiple shots, so that sucks. I'm sorry, they don't care about multiple shots. They don't care about movement. They care about long range. There we go. I said it right. So they open fire on this guy, and they put 5 flippin' wounds on him. 5 wounds on a friggin' Demon Prince. I think they needed 5s or 6s to wound even. I'm rolling like a champion. And like I said, my opponent is rolling very poorly. And Warriors of the Dark God Demon Princes are pretty well defended. He's just rolling really bad, and he's dead. My Bombardiers kill the Demon Prince General. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. We go into combat, and Lord Tremendous is able to drop a couple more of these guys, but 2 to Banner. He's steadfast, he makes his break check, and while I'm thrilled that Lord Tremendous has been able to keep that unit here this whole time, maybe I shouldn't have charged him in without backup. Starting to see the flaw in my plan. Over here, this is a hell of a testament to just how tough Wasteland Knights are. So they took a charge to the rear and to the front by Tusker Cav and Conquerors. My opponent is rolling like crap, and I'm only able to kill 5 of them. In return, a Tusker Cav dies, a couple of wounds on my Tribesman, and my BSB barely survives. He takes 3 wounds. He should be dead. I got lucky as hell. So I win this combat, but this is my opponent rolling like crap. Me rolling awesome. And way overwhelming force into these knights. I win this combat, but only because my opponent's dice were terrible. Had he been rolling average and I rolled this, what I rolled, I would have lost this combat and probably both of my units. It was terrifying, the damage potential of that unit. But anyway, he loses this combat, he takes his break check, breaks, he flees from the Conquerors, and they get run down. I don't believe they make it off the table. I think the Tusker Cav and the Conquerors catch them, and we end up just like that. So left flank secured, and I still put that solely on the Scraplings getting that unit of dogs out of the way. It was amazing. So here we are in bottom of 3 after movement, and there's not a whole lot, but my opponent finally says, what the hell have I been waiting for? And he charges into the flank of Lord Tremendous. So Lord Tremendous's time is up. I accept that. Things have gone really, really well for me this game. Who am I to slight him, killing one of my characters? Other than that, there's no other movement. There's a better picture of that massive brick slamming into Lord Tremendous, and I think either he dispelled Immolation or I dispelled, I can't remember which, but Immolation either didn't do anything or it was already dispelled. I really don't remember. But yeah, like I said, better picture of Tremendous taking on the rest of the army. We go straight into combat, and Lord Tremendous ends up in a challenge with that Wrath Priest at the very bottom there. I do 2 wounds to him. Not enough to kill him, but enough that it helps me stick around. So he's charged, flank, 1-2 ranks, banner, and no wounds. So I think he wins by 6, or I think he's got me by 6, maybe super flank, so 7. What's it called? I did 2 wounds, so he wins by 5. I need a 3 or a 4 to stay. I think I need a 3 to stay, to be honest with you. I pick up 2 dice, channel my inner Shyhammer, and roll the mother effing 3 that I needed. Oh, I lost a friend this day. I know I did. Oh, I gotta be honest. I didn't need it. I had already accepted that Lord Tremendous was going to die, but it was really nice to feel like Shyhammer for a minute when it comes to break check. So Lord Tremendous sticks on a 3, which I think is exactly what he needed to stay, and he's in a really, the Warriors, our Wasteland Warriors are in a terrible spot right now, and there is no mercy in this dojo. Cannot believe I rolled a 3. And with that, here we are in top of 4 after movement. And yes, the good old boys slam into the flank because why not? Everybody else just kind of comes around to look. Rufus stays within 6. Skaz comes over. The Rock comes over. The Conquerors, the Tusker Cat, people start. Everything in my army starts converging on the only enemies left on the table. Because what else am I supposed to do? That's it for movement. There's a better picture of the good old boys joining this fight. During the magic phase, I put Cascading Fire on Lord Tremendous instead of the good old boys because he's in base to base with more. And what seemed like a really, really simple idea turns into an overwhelming power, which means I miscast 12. Of course I did. The result of the miscast is Skaz ends up taking another wound, and I lose Cascading Fire for the rest of the game. Yeah, I'm done casting. After that, nothing happens in shooting because I have no targets, so we go into combat, and as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys plus his character die. I in turn take no wounds. Once again, my opponent is rolling like pure butt. He loses this combat by a ton. I mean, 3, 6, 9, plus the character, plus charge, flank, banner, rank, super flank, to no wounds, and I mean, it couldn't have gone any worse for him, really. He breaks, the good old boys go after the big unit of warriors, and they get away. Lord Tremendous goes after the little unit of warriors, and they also get away. But they're fleeing, and while it is his turn next, this is just going so well for me. It's almost like I'm cheating. I'm not, I promise you, but it's almost like I am. Here's bottom of 4 after movement, and the only thing that happens is in the top right corner of the screen, hit both units of warriors rally. The big one turns to face the good old boys, the little one turns to face Lord Tremendous. That is it. We go to the top of 5, and I go back in. Lord Tremendous charges the little unit, good old boys charges the big unit, Rufus gets within 6 inches of the big unit, so I get all my attacks. And everything else, I mean, the Conquerors, the Scraplings, the Tusker Calf, I don't see any reason to bring them closer. The Bombardiers just kind of turn to face. My Rock gets closer just in case, and the Trappers kind of go back into the forest. That's really it for movement. There's a better picture of the good old boys slamming into the warriors, as well as Tremendous slamming back into the little warriors. We go directly into combat because I'm not screwing around with magic and there's nothing to shoot at. Over here, Lord Tremendous is able to kill, I think, 2 of these guys. Charge 2 kills to Banner. Doesn't matter because they're steadfast and they make their break check no problem. Okay, so remember how I told you my opponent was rolling like crap? Well, I get all my attacks because I've lowered his initiative by 3 thanks to Rufus. And yeah, you're looking at the results. Every single warrior dies. I'm rolling really, really well. My opponent is rolling really, really crappy. I think I take a wound or 2, but with stomps, impact hits, and all those crazy-ass attacks, I kill every single warrior. And yeah, I'm not going to say I'm not pleased with the good old boys for that. Here's how we reform after the fact, but yeah, that's insane it went that well. Didn't lose 1 tribesman. Almost did. Took a couple of wounds, but there was nothing left. What can you do? With that over, we go over here to bottom of 5, and there's no movement because the only thing that he has left is in combat with Lord Tremendous. We go straight into combat, and Lord Tremendous kills 2 of them, takes nothing for his... or takes nothing in return, and I mean, I win by 2. I win by 1. I kill 2, he's got a banner. I win by 1, and he makes his break check. So, yeah.
Is this not why you are here?
And at this point, my opponent looks at the table. He knows we have another turn left, but he's like, no, it's over. You got this one. And he's right. So we shake hands. He spits in my face, and there's the end of the game. So, yeah. Sex Panther's dice have apparently revolted against him. I mean, it's Venezuela on his side of the table. Just nobody's getting along. It was rough. He made some hesitation mistakes. He made some poor choices. I got really lucky in a couple of things. And I'm rolling out of the box while he's rolling like absolute garbage. But, yeah, it went really well for the ogres, and I'm proud of the army. There's things I want to change, just the feel, the way things are moving, the way the army is working. It's working, but I think if my opponent starts rolling at least average, I'm going to see a lot different results. So I still have some ideas I want to try, some things I want to change, but for the most part, it's a solid core list, and... yeah, I'm proud of it. You know what? We're going to go ahead and get into the recap in a minute. But first, here's an ad I think you guys would really enjoy.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
So TMS is having another Kickstarter, and this Kickstarter is all about the Vampire Coven. It's awesome. If the concept art shows what the models, and they do have a lot of models out. They got a lot of infantry, skeletal infantry out there. And it's Sparta themed, and it's amazing. This is the Kickstarter for you if you're into anything undead, vampiric, or you're just a model collector, and you're going to get them at great... I jumped in on this damn Kickstarter, and I don't even play undead. So, yeah, go check it out. The link is going to be in my description. Pause it, go check it out. I'm not going to take offense. Really amazing models, really, really good company. They're gonna get this stuff out. It's made of the best resin money can buy. And no, I'm not getting a damn thing for telling you about this. I really do think it's a great Kickstarter. I think it's a great set of models. And I'm always trying to find you guys cool stuff. So here it is. This is your chance to get in on the ground floor of a kick-ass army that's really going to stand out from a company that's been supporting the Ninth Age since day one. Go check it out and thank me later. So, yes, as you saw, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. My opponent conceded at the bottom of turn 5. Totally understandable, he had 3 warriors left on the table. I ended up losing just Bow Wowzer. I looked it over twice. All I lost was my Saber-Tooth Tiger. This game almost was perfect for me. And that's what happens when your opponent's dice are rolling like shit. So, yeah, I mean, just like in the last game, my opponent's dice were just not, their heart was not in it. The heart of the dice was not there. Everything went my way, from the way the scraplings took out the dogs, the way the trappers were able to finish off the dogs, take care of his chaff almost immediately, the bombardiers killing his general, the good old boys get in there, Lord Tremendous making a save. Everything went my way. For crying out loud, Skaz even miscast twice and lived. Ugh. The stars aligned for this one. Everything went, everything in my army did well. There was really no weak link in this one. Blackshade didn't perform as well as I would have hoped, but when does he ever? I don't know what it is about my general characters, but they always seem to just get inflated on their own ego. I wonder where they get that from. It's so strange. Once again, the Bombardiers finishing off a Demon Prince was just outstanding, and the Scraplings taking out an entire unit warhouse. I know I keep bringing it up, but it was so amazing, you know? My army, in my opinion, is really coming together, really doing well, but I just got the urge to tinker with it, you know, and I'm probably going to. This is a fun game against one of my more favorite opponents. I love that I was able to play against an army I don't get to see that often, and the fact that I'm going to start playing Warriors of the Dark Gods in the summer. This was exciting for me. Anytime I get to play against Sex Panther, it's going to be a good game, and the fact that he keeps changing up his armies is really exciting. I never know what I'm going to face. Really looking forward to see what army he brings to our next game, and of course the rematch. So I just want to say thank you real quick to everybody that supports me financially through Patreon, PayPal, and other means. I've got many supporters that wish to remain anonymous, and I respect that. However, these are the individuals that allow me to thank them properly, and I will do so now. Alex of the Vale Renegades, South Florida's Gamermancy team, Daniel Jolson, and Caillou Choi. Thank you guys very, very much. Thank you to everyone that donates anonymously and doesn't let me thank them properly. And thank you to everybody that watches. You don't have to donate in order for me to be grateful for you to be watching my videos. But it helps, and if you want to give it a shot, there's plenty of ways to do it in the description. Click on the links and go check it out. Maybe you want to throw me $1 or two so, you know, I can shower this week. You know, just throwing it out there. Maybe. Seriously though, guys, thank you. That's gonna do it for this one though, guys and gals. Battle Report number 78 is officially in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.